You're listening to the Live Life Longer show with Dan Voss, where we discuss longevity, health optimization, aging well, having more energy, and living a happier, healthier life. In this week's episode, I'm sharing some insight on an emerging health and mindfulness practice known as forest bathing. Although the principles of the practice have been around for quite some time, it has become increasingly popular in recent years, especially in some places like Japan, which is where the term emerged in the 1980s, as a physiological and psychological exercise called Shinrin-yoku, or taking in the forest atmosphere. Spending time in a forest or other green spaces allows us to reap the health benefits of nature. The original purpose of forest bathing in the 1980s was to offer a natural antidote to tech boom burnout, which we're all familiar with in today's age, and to inspire people to reconnect and protect the country's forest. According to National Geographic, in the 1990s, Japanese researchers began studying the physiological benefits of forest bathing, supporting what we innately know, that time spent immersed in nature is good for us. The journal Environmental Research found that people who spend more time in nature have significantly reduced risk for a number of chronic illnesses. Now, there are probably several reasons behind this connection, but one of the most fascinating ones likely is connected with phytochemicals that trees emit, and we humans breathe in. Researchers from the University of East Anglia looked back at data from earlier studies and found that spending more time in green spaces was linked to reduced level of stress hormone cortisol, lower heart rate, reduced risk of coronary heart disease, lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, and reduced all-caused mortality and death from heart disease. For women who were pregnant, more time spent in nature was linked to reduced risk of small size for gestational age in the baby as well as preterm birth. Among all the participants, on average, there was an increased likelihood of self-reporting one's health as good after spending time in nature. Some studies also suggested a possible connection between green spaces and cancer outcomes, neurological outcomes, sleep duration, and certain biomarkers. Now, there are some obvious benefits to being in nature. It promotes physical activity, social interaction, exposure to sunlight, and reduced pollution, which all boost health in various ways. The less obvious explanation, however, include the old friends hypothesis, which suggests that the increased exposure to microorganisms can boost the immune system, which in turn leads to reduced risk of chronic disease and early death. Forest bathing doesn't have to be just for the wilderness lover. The practice can be as simple as walking in any natural environment and consciously connecting with your surroundings. So I invite you today to put down your phones, step away from your screens, head into nature, go for a walk or a hike, meditate in a nearby park. Become aware of your surroundings and be present and mindful. It's time to enjoy the many beautiful offerings that nature provides us.